What's up, y'all? I'm back again. It's been like, what, 3 months since I've been on here? Since then, a lot's happened, obviously. I haven't been on here because I was able to get out and go do summer stuff. But I'm back on here, fired up. My nerves are bad. Because I don't know about y'all, but I can feel it. I can feel it coming. Bruce Lee said, "Be the water." I've been trying. I've been trying, y'all. I come from that live and let live attitude or philosophy, but it's getting tough these days. Today I gotta speak on a matter that I'm tired, man. I'm tired of hearing one side of this damn story. I'm tired of hearing vaxxed or unvaxxed. I'm tired of pretending like me and my group don't exist. Or I'm tired of it seeming like me and my folks don't exist. And by me and my folks is okay, so there are people who don't want to get the vax, okay? Which is their right. Or at least should be. Come tomorrow, anything's possible. Here's my thing. I'm gonna tell a story. It makes more sense if I tell a story. Okay, so beginning of COVID, first 2 years of COVID, I didn't get it. I didn't try not to get it, but I didn't get it, okay? This past summer, I decided, you know what, we gonna live. So I take my family to Florida. We go to Florida. On our way to Florida, we ride Delta Airlines. We fly into Atlanta Airport, all masked, whole time. Fly into Atlanta Airport, then we fly into Florida Airport, Orlando Airport to be exact. And then we go to three parks in Disney. I'm with vaccinated folks, and half the adults or more catch COVID. The vaccinated folks actually got it worse than myself, unvaccinated folk. Okay. So we come home, and a couple of days later, we hear about this Delta variant that's replaced the old COVID that's coming out of the Florida, Atlanta area. And so it put two and two together. After getting tested for COVID and test positive, I guess one would think that or assume that I had the Delta variant. So then 2 weeks later, after healing, recovering, getting over my flu-like, tired-like, cramping muscles situation, I went on back to, normal life. Now, a month later, maybe more. Now, everybody's talking about gotta get vaxxed. And this is my problem, or this is where I have an issue. Because common sense, or at least my understanding of vaccines and how they work, is the idea is to, when they give you a vax, they're basically giving you a small dose of the virus, which your body is to react to and respond to and beat. And thus you get the abilities or the antibodies to, fight that virus and or maybe a similar virus. Now, if that's the understanding of vaccines and it takes them time to produce them and it's based on the old information, i.e. the current vaccine out of and available is for the older COVID, or the before the new variants, which would be what? Ineffective, no? Or less effective. And so people are telling me that I should get this old COVID vaccine when I've already beat the new COVID and have no need for even that vaccine, which they're going to produce here in the future. So what I'm saying is they're producing vaccines that aren't, well, one, that aren't useful for the new variants, and two, are going to be based on old information, i.e. not the new strands of the virus. So to me, that it would not make sense for me to take the vaccine because it has the old COVID information and I've already beat the new COVID. So now they're talking about mandates for having to do all these crazy, ridiculous things as if I'm this, as if being unvaccinated, I'm this walking gun. This is crazy. I got the new COVID, I beat the new COVID, therefore I should be safer to be around than almost, 90% of the population? Meanwhile, me and those who've had COVID, we don't have a voice. Nobody mentions us. Nobody talks about how, the doctors have said that, if you beat COVID naturally, there's a very unlikely chance that you'll get it again or be debilitated by it if you get it again or a new strand. So I say all that to say that this situation is defying logic. Soon, it's going to get really uncomfortable for a lot of people because we're not being reasonable or logical in how we're addressing this. And we're not talking about all the people who are affected and impacted, because COVID's been running around for a few years now. And the people we don't hear discussed are the people who got it and beat it. I mean, it just seems like the only people who are heard are these celebrities and politicians who tell us that we got to get vaxxed and we're threats to society. Meanwhile, at this point, how many people have had COVID? How many people have beat it? How many people, have done it without the vaccine? What about the fact that it's all based on old information? What about how come we don't hear the naturally beating it versus vaccinating? How come we don't hear the argument as to which of these two are better? Because I'm pretty sure that anything that you can do naturally is going to be better than unnaturally. But we're not even having that conversation. Therefore, this whole situation is just absurd. Meanwhile, in New York, California, certain places, even here in DC, you can't go in. You can't go in without papers of vaccination. Meanwhile, studies and doctors say that if you beat it and you have the antibodies, thus I've tested positive and negative for COVID, I'm not a threat. But meanwhile, I'm supposed to live an uncomfortable, unnatural life, either getting shots and wearing masks and doing all this unnatural stuff for no justifiable reason. If we're being honest, there's no justifiable reason that I should have to wear a mask or take a vaccination shot. I mean, please explain to me how I'm wrong. I'm more than curious. I've got it, I beat it, I've had the antibodies, I don't get sick, I live a clean, healthy, hygienical life. Meanwhile, businesses are going to go out of business because people like myself can't and won't patronage establishments that live under this tyrannical situation, environment. So yeah. And then, don't even get me started on the kids. Yeah. Don't even get me started on the kids. I feel like, I started this conversation talking about the stress and that I'm feeling. Meanwhile, I'm chilling. Like, I'm really, the things that bother me are the future. How the life that we're creating for the youth and my children, and how they're gonna live their life, and how ridiculous and absurd it seems compared to how I did and how I would currently. I don't believe in living your life controlled and ruled by fear. I don't believe in, doing things that are unnatural and unhealthy. Like, to a certain degree, trying to pretend like we're saving people who haven't taken care of themselves, or who are, out of our control to save anyway. Like, no, I want my kid to play ball, have fun, be social, meet girls, have a conversation without, hiding half their face. Like, no, I'm just interested in that life. And yeah, it's unfortunate because I don't see them getting that life. And yeah, I can go on endlessly about, the detriments of what we're creating are, but nah, I'm gonna keep it simple. And yeah, just let it be known that it's illogical for me to take the vaccine. It just is. But, if you think I'm wrong, explain to me. But at this point, it just doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see what y'all think. I'll provide that Dr. Umar update here in a bit, but I wanted to go ahead and let it be known that there are people out here beating COVID without a vaccine, doing it very easily, very naturally, and yeah, I recommend things like lemon and lime juice actually for COVID. But that's just one of like 4 or 5 things I would recommend. Also, I'm gonna leave you on this. When the media tells this story about vaccinated versus unvaccinated, one fact that they don't tell you, and I recommend all of you look this up, is that, it's the vaccinated versus unvaccinated isn't about red or blue, Republican or Democrat. The polling and statistics show that the divide on vaccination is actually between, there's one group, which is the unintelligent and the very intelligent, which, would be seen as probably country conservatives and intellectual conservatives and liberals make up this don't want to get vaccinated party. And then everybody in the middle, that means not elite educated and not uneducated. Everybody in the middle makes up your vaccinated party. Those who don't want to are the really intelligent and those who don't have much of an education, which are the hardest minds to change. And that's what they're not telling you. They're making it seem like it's, this or that, red, blue, country, city, whatever. They paint it ways that it's not actually true. It's the intellectuals and the unintellectuals don't want to get vaxxed, and everybody in the middle who follows the elite agendas or believes the Faucis or the celebrities or politicians or whoever it is that they follow. So yeah, know that as well. Sorry for a long rant, but felt I had to say something. Holler at your boy.